Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us for our Matariki long weekend weather update. And before we get into the weather, I just want to show you what we got yesterday from YouTube. The silver plaque recognising that we've reached 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to all of you. Without you, we wouldn't have this, that's for sure. We really appreciate your ongoing support. It's a great honour to receive this. All right, let's get into the weather forecast now for you. A lot of people want to know what is happening this long weekend. So we kick off with high pressure north of the country, low pressure south of us. In between the two, you got the windy westerlies blowing. That'll be strongest through Cook Strait and Wellington. Subtropical for some parts of the North Island, so that will help lift up the temperatures. Another cold morning this morning. Should be a fairly mild evening tonight compared to previous nights, but it's still fairly cold around New Zealand, especially in the South Island. Let me explain why. The blue line has been here all week, the polar boundary. So south of that's polar air that goes around Antarctica. That's the reason why you're feeling it. The temperatures are down both by day and by night. Not necessarily extremely cold, but it's certainly colder around the South Island. And with this next cold front coming through, overnight tonight and across Friday, temperatures drop around the South Island. The North Island will get that later into the day or maybe even not until nighttime. So early rain clears the north or showers, followed by more showers from the west to southwest. And in the South Island, wet along the west coast and around Southland for the most part. Eastern areas are mainly dry, but that will start to change as we go into Saturday. If you're going stargazing, here is the cloud forecast. This is for Friday evening, 9 o'clock in the evening. What you're looking for, orange is low cloud, purple is high cloud, and the green is sort of just the usual middle kind of clouds. So what we're seeing here is a fair bit of low cloud around the South Island in the orange. The top of the country, some high cloud. You may be able to see through that high cloud. You never know. There's been a fair bit of high cloud around northern New Zealand over the past few days. West coasters may have clear skies as the southerlies come on through, but around the North Island it looks as though Hawke's Bay, Waited Upper, and then jumping over to Horowhenua and Manawatu, even up towards Wanganui and Taranaki. Apart from a few clouds with showers moving through, there will be some clear spells in the mix. And of course, you can go to the free Weather Watch app or ruralweather.co.nz, look for the trends, they're at the top of the page on the website, and fog and cloud. And that way you can sort of lock in with a bit more detail the percentage of cloud that's expected on the skies above you, and also the visibility distance, which you want to be at least 16 kilometres or more, because otherwise it's a bit too hazy for you. All right, let's get into the weekend weather. Well, Friday, I guess, is the weekend, but the traditional weekend weather. The polar airflow comes right up to Waikato, Bay of Plenty and Gisborne as we go into Saturday. There are showers around, both coastlines, western and eastern sides getting showers, the southern coastline of the North Island as well. But for the most part, the South Island is seeing the winds ease away and the showers disappear, clearer skies, frostier weather coming in at nighttime, and of course, the winter solstice, precisely 2:41 in the afternoon. A lot of people don't know it's a precise moment. And then after that, the days start to get longer again, although it usually takes about a month before you start to notice it. Early risers, farmers in particular, or those stuck in Auckland's rush hour traffic, you're usually the first people to notice the change as you start to see that glow of sunrise getting up earlier and earlier in the mornings. But that, like I say, it's a few more weeks away before you'll start to notice that. Here is noon Sunday. The polar airflow comes right up to the side here, well up around, even Great Barrier Island, Coromandel Peninsula, Bay of Plenty, and out towards East Cape, even into northern Hawke's Bay. That is moving eastwards by the nighttime. High pressure out here to the west, helping to nudge that along. But there's also a westerly change happening in the south. That's ahead of the next cold front down here. So that drives in rain and showers, and then a dusting of snow once more on the mountains and ranges. And by next week, polar air again covers most of the South Island and the very lower North Island. Showers continue, mainly in the south and the east of New Zealand, but also a little burst of pretty typical wintry showers coming in around Waikato, Auckland and Northland, mostly north of Taranaki, with the southwest winds, southwesters can be a little brisk in Auckland at times. That's possible here on Monday. As we get to Tuesday, typical, right? Long weekend passes and finishes, and then high pressure comes in and sits over the top of us. So light winds, clear skies in many places, frosty weather starts to return as well. And by Wednesday, the high shifts a little further out to the east. That pushes in this subtropical northerly. Now that adds a wee bit more humidity into the forecast. Don't get that confused with muggy weather. That's hot and humid weather. High humidity is possible in the middle of winter. That's what a foggy day is, 100% humidity. So you see that humidity coming down. So what does that mean? Well, it means the chance of fog. So you have that added moisture, light winds in many places, but there will be a bit of a breeze developing across the day. That should clear fog away, but it's possible. Again, have a look on our app or at Rural Weather for the fog forecaster, especially if you're traveling. Notice the isobar is being squeezed up here in the lower half of the South Island. Windy weather is on the way once more, and it fans out across the country by the later part of next week. High pressure out over the Chatham Islands, and on the outer edges of that, we've got this windy weather pushing on through. So yeah, typical winter weather, really. Rainfall for the next week ahead. Most of the rain over here on the west coast. You're seeing some pretty large numbers, but wherever you see the purple-pink shading, right at the bottom of the scale, mostly dry. So Canterbury, Marlborough, Waited Upper, Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, Bay of Plenty, Coromandel Peninsula and Northland are all looking mostly dry. At least the further east you are, the drier it is likely to be. And before I go, we've got something new for you on our website. If you're a boatie or a fisherman, this should pique your interest. Take a look. Look, the green hand is back again. It's the ripple forecast. So you can see it here. It's by ripple, I should say. You've got wave heights, wave period, wind speed, and you can look at all those different things on the site. Zoom in, take a look at more details. What we would love is for you to play around with this and let us know what you think of it. Tell us if it's working for you or not, what bits you love, all that kind of stuff. Feed us that feedback on YouTube or on the Weather Watch website. Either way, take a look at that. You can find it at weatherwatch.co.nz. Simply click on Marine. That's all from me. Thank you again for all your amazing support. We'll see you again on Monday.